Hello, and welcome. And I was given this inspiration this morning while I was cooking, while I was making soup in the crock pot. It's kind of fun. And as I was like cutting up the sweet potatoes and celery, I had this memory come in, and it was super vivid of when my mom stopped peeling the potatoes for our Thanksgiving dinner. And she had decided it was healthier to have skins on. But my brother and I were like, where did our white, fluffy mashed potatoes go? Instead, there were sort of these weird brownish, whitish, discolored, they weren't really lumpy, but they were like, they had skin in them and it looked so different. And I just reflected on like sometimes when we evolve and when our consciousness changes and when we shift and when we go up and when we do great, sometimes there's this moment when it feels so flippin' uncomfortable that you don't even quite know how to integrate it. And that I think that's what the mashed potatoes did for us. Like at some level, I was aware in my teenage body that potatoes with skins were probably healthier for us if they were washed. Still, the white fluffy ones with no skin were what I was used to and what I had come to know, what I'd come to love and what I'd come to appreciate and what I loved about Thanksgiving. I mean, I love more things than that. But just as a note, like when we shift upwards, there's this sort of weird thing of when I lose the weight, my life will be like this. When I have the money, my life will be like this. When I get to that holy grail, whatever it is, when my podcast reaches 100,000 downloads, it will be like this. And just as a heads up, while putting those desires in front of us as a way of increasing the energy and the potency of our actions, kind of have an awareness that it may not end up exactly as you planned. So here's another example. I've wanted to live on a horse ranch probably most of my life, but really, really more deeply since about 1998 when I bought my first horse. I've been riding my whole life, but I've been caring for horses my whole life, but I had actually bought my very first own horse around 1998. And I so desired to live on a ranch where I could see him. And now I have that. Fast forward 27 years. Took me a little while to manifest, huh? And actually, it is really, really, really good. So I'm not sure this is a good story, but it isn't exactly what I thought it would be like. You know, it isn't exactly as I planned it. There's a lot of responsibility and work, but I kind of love that. A lot of dust and dirt and mud, and the dirt gets into everything and the dust gets into everything. And oh my goodness, it's hard to keep the house clean because of all the dust from the ranch. And I still love it, but I just want to share that what some things we can do to imbue, like, I guess to keep the desire filled with some ands, and I'll be able to integrate it, and I'll be able to like the potatoes that are healthier for me. I just put sweet potatoes into the crock pot and I left the skins on after I'd washed them. And it felt really interesting because I knew that I normally pull the skins off still. Isn't that fascinating? I know it's like really strange, like down in the weeds of life. So I just kind of wanted to share with you to allow your desires to have wings. And then when something shows up that isn't exactly what you planned, but might have a lot of tenets of what you plan, to celebrate that as a win, right? Right? And right now, another thing I'm really big on is book publishing. And I'm very blessed to be a third generation publisher. Sometimes I feel like I have ink in my veins. Although then I started podcasting, so that wasn't ink. And I remember when my first book came out and it didn't make me a millionaire, and I was just shocked. I fully believe that one book would just like completely change my external reality. And really it gave me a lot. It brought me in before, gave me speaking engagements. It gave me ride or die fans. It gave me, oh my gosh, the most wonderful publisher in the history of women indie public. She's a woman indie publisher, and then she built my publishing company for me, like as a gift. So I mean, really, it gave me so much. And yet, if you're holding like your desire, and then what the exact outcome has to be, or you won't be happy, that's kind of a recipe for a crash. Yeah. So let's do a meditation. After having popped every bubble and balloon in the place. I know, I'm a little silly. I've recently been meditating in the mornings and going into theta, and it's changing so many things in my life. So that's what I encourage you to do now, is to really take the next 8 to 10 minutes and just allow yourself to be. And sit with your back straight and your head above your shoulders. Thank you. I will apologize for that interruption because I'll wake up. Okay, so sit with your head directly above your shoulders and kind of open up your chest. Pull your shoulders back and breathe. And now, if you can, have your feet firmly on the ground. If possible, your knees about a foot apart. And my energy, y'all, is off the flippin' charts. So have an awareness if today's meditation is a little wilder than usual. You're not imagining things. Cool. Now go ahead and just breathe blue energy up through the earth and through the base of your spine. And just see if your base chakra would like some red energy or pink energy running through it in a clockwise circle. This is where we carry safety and security, and bring blue energy up from the earth to ground that root chakra. So important. The second energy for mine is completely going wild. This is our money, creativity, and sexual energy chakra. It's located right below our belly button in our sexual parts area. And what we're going to do now is roll some orange energy through it and just roll that through it. Clear, just ask any blockages to your creativity, your money, your projects. Just ask any blockages to be released to God in heaven and let them go away. Invite clear and abundant light into this second area. Many, many, many people have been abused in this area. We're going to release that too. Just invite healing to that second chakra area. And go ahead and invite blue energy up from the earth to clear that second chakra area. Now let's go into the third chakra. This is located in our solar plexus. My yellow chakra energy is having a happy dance. Wow. So saying hi to your third chakra energy. This is a place where healers and caretakers and life coaches often have trouble because they love so much to take care of everyone else. And this is really a self-care chakra. So go ahead and see if you can't flip a switch to yes for some of the self-care ideas that you might receive. Getting your nails done, taking a long bath, riding a horse. Let's go up into our heart chakra now, and this operates at a green color. If you're into Buddhism, the Kuan Yin, or compassion is the goddess that is here in the heart chakra. And roll some green energy through your heart chakra. And go ahead and invite your heart chakra to be a part of everything that you are, be, and do. And go ahead and invite your heart chakra to be in your projects and your work, and your love life, and your friends and your animals. Just see if your heart chakra is willing to receive love as well as give it. Mine has a lot of caveats, like I'm gonna love you if you're kind. I'm gonna love you if you're nice. I'm gonna love you if you aren't mean. Woo. Wow. Any place where you've shut off receiving because of past trauma, go ahead and invite healing into this space. Release to God and the angels places where those hurt your heart and betrayed you, took advantage of you, took from you versus giving to you. Anything that's out of balance. Go ahead and bring blue earth energy from the bottom of the earth up and to heal those betrayals. Who among us has not faced betrayal? And just connect with the purity of God in heaven and all the angels and ask your heart to be whole and healthy and healing again. Softer, easier, more willing to be a yes to your creative ideas. That. Now let's roll up into our throat chakras. I was interviewing the most fabulous person yesterday on my podcast. I'll mention his name. It's Star Lewis. His brothers are named Storm, Sky, and Rain, I believe. Isn't that fabulous? So he's on my Erica Glessing Show podcast, airing on the 28th. So please feel free to tune in and listen to his inspirational and joyful information. And during the interview, my throat kind of froze up a bit, which never happens. As a speaking starseed, I love to talk. So let's just go ahead and see any places where you were silenced, you were to be seen and not heard, you were made less than, your voice was considered not to be heard, you were betrayed by those who were teaching you to show you were less than them and not as good as them and not enough to be as powerful because that any place where you suffered imposter syndrome, where you believed, where you were not clear that your gifts were unique enough or good enough, powerful enough. Release that. Invite the awareness of your speaking, your truth, your gifts, your writing as so million times unique, so much you, that it couldn't possibly be anything other than that. That your truth could not be possibly anything other than a gift that will help others who are reaching up and on the ladder up. And your gifts from where you right now, exactly now, even if you just text 2 friends, hey, I got you. I'm in your corner. We're in this together. As Outro used to sing. That. And see if your throat chakra can't kind of feel healed in that sense of it's okay. And I'm not perfect. Oh, heck. I'm so far from perfect. And yet, what if I allowed my messages more wings? And what if that's what the planet is asking you for right now? And you don't have to do it how anybody else does it. You can TikTok, you can X, you can LinkedIn, you can write in your journal only. Keep it very private on your hard drive. That's okay. Writing your truth, even in a private place, will take it to the next level of physicality and give it more potency. Did you know that? That if you wrote a book and put it under your pillow and just printed it out, it still has potency? Even if you never share it with a single soul. It's still by putting it on paper, putting those pages together, printing those pages out, you've given it you've nurtured the collective unconscious and collective consciousness with that. And then when you're ready for it to become a published work or a social media post, don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about the shares. Don't worry about any of those indicators yet. This podcast itself was created anonymously, and I created Claire Energia as the name to associate with it so that it could be free of any of the baggage that comes from my own personal name and all the books I've published. And I wanted it just to be free of all that and just be here to help and not be hindered by any expectations or beliefs of what I am or what I could be. That's really served this podcast well, in a fascinating way. Ooh, that's a lot that came in for throat. And let's go ahead and bump up to our third eye. And third eye is so beautiful. It's where we see and know and perceive. It's where we're given intuition. It's where we know how the waitress is feeling when she serves our soup. It's where we call someone right when they're thinking about us. It's where we show up somewhere right at the same time someone else does, and something beautiful happens. It's where we ask to be on a podcast, and then you get a call from my show, like the Erica Glessing show. Say, hey, would you like to guest on my podcast? I was just thinking I need to be on podcast, really. 10 seconds ago, I got the call. This is where our third eye comes in. It's our knowing, also. It's also here to nudge us when we're not aligned. So, hey, don't take that road. Don't go outside today. Don't work with that person. Don't give them your money. Ooh, work with that person. You know, all those things that come into that third eye knowing. Let's clear out any doubt, people get really confused about third eye knowing, and they wonder, is it real? Is it real? Is it real? Is it real? One way to get out of that whole hamster wheel is to just write down your knowing and don't tell anybody. Just write in a journal your knowing. I always keep a journal by my bed and by my computer. I kept a journal and I write in it all the time. And when I'm shown intuitions, I just write them down. But as this evolves, as it becomes so refined, what's happened for me is I don't doubt it at all. When I'm shown it, I trust it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go against that, because the third eye, the telepathy, the way we're all connected, the universal consciousness, the way we're given ideas. Now, when you get a book idea, it's usually given from source to more than one person, because there are billions of us on the planet, and no one person could reach all the billions. And so an idea or a concept or an expansion might come in for, say, 3,000 different would-be authors. They're all given the same sort of tapping into the collective consciousness. And I discovered this when I did my Happiness Telesummit years back. And I found these amazing happiness writers. And some of them would tell me what they were working on next, secretly. And so many of them were working on the same ideas, unbeknownst to each other. Big number one, 14 million copies sold authors, Marcy Shimoff, and some of the others from my Happiness Telesummit. And so many of them were also working on next projects that were the same as each other without each other knowing at all. Isn't that fascinating? This is why trusting the third eye knowing is so valuable, because you're tapping into the greater awareness of all humans and the angels. So go ahead and clear that third eye knowing. Practice trusting it. Here's the thing that's so funny is you can trust it, but you might, like, let's say you take a road that's better, the other one's blocked. You may never really know. Like, you didn't take the block road, so you won't possibly be shown evidence that that was right, except that you got home safely without being in traffic, which is always good. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and traffic is a thing. And you can ask my kids, I'll do almost anything to stay on an untrafficked road. I love open road. So trust your third eye knowing and just really treat that with joyful love. Now we're going to go up right above your head, and this is where we connect to source energy. And go ahead and bring golden energy down all around you. And ask for source inspiration today as you go about your day, and just invite source to heal you and to know you and to have you trust your knowing. And I'll just wrap it up by inviting you to be curious about any kinds of things like mashed potatoes with skin on them that may look different and be uncomfortable, but really be something that fits your health and your soul practices. Just be on the lookout for things that may look and feel odd or uncomfortable, but be on your greater path. Thank you so much. This is Erica Glessing. If you're interested in book publishing, you can go to happypublishing.net. I have some special offers going on. If you're interested in the transcript and more information on this podcast, you can go to energyclearingforlife.com. Thanks so much.